YouTube, what's popping? Y'all know I'm a chef. Y'all know I be whipping it up in the kitchen, period. But today we are making some Alfredo, period. If those of you that know me, put this in the focus. Those of you that know me, y'all know that I am known for Alfredo. Like, that's one of like the most things that I'm known for in my community. Like when I cook and when I do plate sales, everybody be preaching, Alfredo. Not ball, y'all, period. I'll be forgetting I got that tattoo better. But yeah, Alfredo is something that everybody always is asking me to make. I can cook everything just about, but everybody be asking me for Alfredo. And so that's what we're gonna make today. I cook it so much that I'm not really the biggest, I love Alfredo, it's good, but like it done got played out to me. So because I cook it and I make it so much that I don't really like it how I used to, But that's what we're doing today. We have some ragu. And I'm feeding the community today, basically. And I'm also going to make some salmon. I got some salmon. And then I'm also going to make honey bun cake. So I'm going to make honey bun cake. We got our chicken tenders. And when I say I'm feeding the community, I got a lot of heads to feed today. I got the people that's in my house, that's for my mom, my dad, me, and my sister. I have a couple other people. So I got people to feed today. And then I'm going to use this right here, which I want y'all to get a good view. It is the Food Line brand. It's from Food Line. And it is the ginger sweet chili sauce. I'm going to use this on my salmon as like that sweet glaze. And y'all will see. But as of right now, we are getting ready to chop up the chicken. And we're also getting ready to clean the chicken. Y'all, please clean your chicken. I don't care what them folk be saying. Oh, it causes unnecessary bacteria. I don't want to hear it. I've already washed my dishes that were over there with Clorox and with some Dawn, baby. And then I'm just sanitizing my station. I'm saying station like I'm a chef or something, which I am because I can cook. And I'm just cleaning my station off, just making sure that we all nice and tidied up. You want to make sure your kitchen clean, y'all. So I'm getting ready to wash the chicken and I'll be right back. I'm not going to show me washing the chicken. I mean, it's self-explanatory, but I'm getting ready to wash all my chicken. Then I'm going to bring it back over here, cut it up and season it. I'll be right back. All right, y'all. So with clean hands, we're getting ready to cut our chicken up. And I have just a big bowl of chicken. And then I have my cutting board. All right, and I'm just gonna chop my chicken up. Clean hands, y'all. And just for the people wondering, I do have my water going in the back. Killing two birds with one stone, let your water get to boiling. And I hate the tendon part in the chicken, so we don't even play around with that. I cut around it and then I leave the tendon out because that's chewy and not appetizing to eat. I don't have a problem touching raw chicken. A lot of people have issues touching raw chicken. And a lot of times, if you get a good grip on the tendon, you can pull it right out. So then I have my chicken here and we're getting ready to season her up. My first seasoning, and I don't use these all the time, but whatever. I have a good hand for seasoning, so I know when to stop. But my first seasoning is going to be Creole. If it'll focus on it. And I'll put my thing down for y'all. Boom. I'm going to just get this seasoning off the... Ooh. Thank you. A little bit of slap your mama. This is the number one. This is what I use in the Alfredo, and I use it on my chicken. It is the Kingsford Original Purpose Cajun. Lemon pepper. onion powder, Lawry's, garlic powder, paprika. All right, y'all, I have pulled my noodles out of the water and I have strained them. And I have them in this big pot. And y'all see it ain't steaming because you have to take your time. And this is the method that I use. So once I pull them off of the stove, I strain them in a regular strainer. Once I strain them, which the strainer in the sink, you see it. And once I strain them, I run cold water over them for a minute. I throw them back in the pot. I fill the pot up with cold water. I strain them again, get that cold water off of them, rinse them under the cold water again, and put them back in the pot. Don't leave no water in that pot. If you leave the water in the pot, the noodles are going to take form of that water, and the noodles are going to start to become very, very soggy, just as if you would have left them in the hot water. Even in cold water, they take the form of that water and they start to expand again, and then they get really soggy. So don't leave no water in there, but just make sure that you rinse them 2 or 3 times to get that heat and that steam off of them. And then just leave them in the pot, and you could throw a little bit of olive oil or something in there just so they won't stick together. I just leave mine, but no big deal. And so then you're going to season your shrimp and you're going to season your Alfredo sauce. You're going to season. And a lot of people are going to say, blah, blah, blah. That's too much, blah, blah, blah. But guess what? Seasoning is what makes my Alfredo. And a lot of people, they love my Alfredo. And that's what makes it. And so not only the seasoning, but a whole lot of love, baby. Some people can season and whatever, but you can't taste the love in their food. And my food, I put my heart into it because it's something I love doing. So if you don't got your heart into it, your food ain't gonna come out right. No matter what recipe book you follow, I can show y'all 1,000 times how to make this recipe, but it'll never taste like mine because everybody's sauce and they drip different. You know what I'm saying? But seriously, like, it's something. Cooking to me is something you cannot follow a recipe by. It's all about the flavors that you desire and the flavors that the people around you have come accustomed to. Cooking is a love sport. You know what I'm saying? It's something that you gotta love doing. When you get your hands in there and you massaging the meat, you whipping up whatever you're doing. When you whipping that cake batter, it's the love that comes out of you through your hands. So, but I'm gonna take y'all over there and we're getting ready to saute this chicken up. Hey y'all, I season in batches. I'm sorry, not season. I cook my chicken in batches when I'm doing my Alfredo. I got my pan on and I'm just gonna put some vegetable oil in there. Just enough to coat the pan. Okay, I'm gonna swivel that around. And just I don't want my pan to be super hot. I have it on like medium high heat right now because I don't want my pan to be super hot and it create that. Woo! There was a little bit of water in the pan, y'all, so it's popping. I'm gonna go ahead and put my chicken in real fast. You want it to sound just like that. You don't want to have that super sizzle because what will happen is the chicken will cook too fast and then you'll think it's done, and guess what? You got tough chicken. And you don't want your chicken to be tough. You want it to be tender. And that's what happens when people cook chicken too fast, is that it's not tender and it's kind of a chewy texture. You don't want it to be chewy. You don't want somebody like, dang, this chicken, you know? That's just my tip. And like I said, I got my pan on medium high heat. This right here will probably be 2 to 3 batches that I got right here. But when I'm making it for the community, when I'm doing plate sales, it's probably about 7 to 8 batches that I have to do, if not more. So that's our raw chicken. That's our chicken that's cooking. I'm also going to get another bowl to put our cooked chicken in and handle that. All right, y'all. So I have finished cooking my chicken. All of it is in here. And so now what we're getting ready to do is start on the Alfredo. I just put a whole stick of butter in my pot. This is a crock pot pan, so it's a Dutch oven dude. But period. So we put a whole stick of butter in. And I got my pot on about like medium high heat, just about, or it's about right at medium. I'll just say medium. Okay. And we're just letting that butter melt down. Normally, whatever pan I fry my chicken in is the pan that I use for my sauce. But because I have so much food, I put it in this bigger pot because my frying pan wasn't gonna hold it all. And then the reason I normally use the pot that I fry the chicken in is so that I can I use the butter to scrape up those bits that are on the bottom from the chicken, and that's extra flavor as well. So we're letting that melt down. Y'all, I didn't show y'all me making my honey bun cake. I'll do that. I'll save that for another video. That's a whole nother time. And I'll show y'all making my honey bun cake. But my honey bun cake is in the oven at 350 right now. I'll do that on another video. But we're getting ready to take my 5 jars of Alfredo sauce and put it in the pot. And then I have some fresh Parmesan. Not that crab stuff, let me stop. But I just tap the bottom, open them up. And you want to turn your eye down once your butter has melted, because your Alfredo is going to start bubbling as soon as it gets in there. You don't want it popping all over you and stuff. That felt open. Yeah, see, that one was open already. I'm not going to use that because it was open. It didn't make a noise when I hit it on the bottom. That's another trick. Hit it on the bottom. You'll hear, I'm going to make that noise again. When it hasn't been open, it'll make that noise on the bottom. That jar that I just did, it didn't make that noise. And when I opened the lid, it didn't make another noise. So I know that was already open before it even got here. So we're not going to use that. We're in a whole pandemic. We ain't finna play. This going in the trash. Alright, and so you just want to let, and see, typically, depending on how many noodles I got, I'll slosh some milk around in my cans. I'm going to do that just so I can get all the sauce out. I bump my heat up to like 8 on my oven. And y'all, don't put milk to fill it up. You just want to put milk just so it coats the can and you get out the rest of that sauce. Don't put it in there to, you know what I'm saying. And be prepared to stand over your stove when you bump that heat up. If not, because you're using milk and because this is a cheesy dish, you don't want anything to curdle, and you also do not want it to stick to the bottom and burn. I'm not a fan of burnt cheese in this type of dish, okay? Whatsoever. So keep your station clean, guys. Always clean up after yourself. Clean as you go. Wash dishes as you go. I got my dad over there washing dishes right now, but trust and believe, before he came, I was washing them, because you want to make sure that your areas are clean. And then it leaves less for you to do once you're done. Because who wants to eat and then have to sit up there and clean the kitchen? No, we ain't doing that. So I'm going to use about all of this in there, or I'll say about 1/4 of a cup. Well, that is 1/4 of a cup. So that's in. And I'm going to turn. See that Parmesan in there? We're going to let that melt in there. Fresh Parmesan is going to be, as soon as it hit that sauce, it's going to start melting down. Okay. All right, and while that's going, we're going to do some Creole. After that Creole, we're going to put in my King's 4. And you want to taste as you go. I'm going to do a little bit of onion powder. I thought I grabbed my garlic, but since it's over here, we're going to use that onion powder. And I'm going to put in a lot of garlic. because I did use generic. And even if you can also do this. Once you're putting in your butter to let it melt in this pot with your Alfredo, you can throw in some minced garlic and let it become fragrant with the butter. Or you can just use powder. Either one is fine. Or you can do both. I mean, I'm a fan of garlic. So, and y'all, you want to go heavy with the seasonings because, like I said, the sauce is not what makes the dish. How you season that Alfredo sauce is what's going to make it. And if it don't, and if the sauce don't have no color, you can tell. Look at the tint of it. And I'm gonna add a little bit more of this. I normally put a lot on top. And you want to find out if your Cajun seasoning is salty or not, and that'll tell you how much to put in there. This King's Ford, it actually is not the original one that I use, and it actually is kind of salty. So I ain't gonna go too hard on it. I thought it was the original one that I used, but that's actually like the one that I really use is a real Cajun one. You can tell it's real Cajun. I just put a little bit of cayenne pepper in there. I like a little bit of heat in mine. My family does too. We all like a little bit of heat with ours. They're used to the Cajun, the Alfredo Cajun taste with our Alfredo. And I'm just gonna taste it, y'all. I'm not too big and bad not to taste my food before I serve it. Y'all. Yo, that's spot on. That's spot on. It don't need nothing. It's spot on. It's the perfect amount of saltiness. You taste that spice in the back of your throat, not in the front. Taste a little bit on your taste buds, but it's not too much, you know? So we're gonna add more cheese. Keep it cheesy. My parents don't eat shrimp, so we don't incorporate shrimp in ours. Me and my sister, we just add ours in, but I don't put it in there like when I get ready to dump my chicken. Like I'm getting ready to dump my chicken right now. We would not add our shrimp in there unless we were just making this for us. But since everybody is eating, we do not put the shrimp in there because they don't eat shrimp. So you want to get all the juices, all the oil from that chicken out of that pan. That's excess. That's more flavor. Just like, y'all don't skip any part of seasoning, because if you do, the people that's eating are going to hate you for it, because you don't ever want to skip out on your seasoning. And I'm just adding my noodles. And being that our noodles have been sitting and getting their little marry on, we want to make sure that they get heated well through. I'm actually going to transfer my sauce into my other pan. Okay. Just so I can get a bigger view. And I'm going to turn my eye off while I'm doing this so ain't nothing burning. Okay. Get all that goodness in there. Y'all see that? You want to stir it up? And I'm going to add some more noodles. I cooked 2 boxes. And as long as it's still saucy, you can keep adding more. And I'm going to cut my heat, actually. As long as it's still saucy and creamy, you can keep adding noodles, but you don't want to go too far and then it starts to get dry. So I'm gonna stop right there, to be honest. I'm gonna stop right there. And see what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna put some cheese on top. And I'm gonna put the lid on. And I'm gonna let the heat that's already in this entire pot melt this cheese right on top. I'm gonna put just a dab of Creole and just a dab of garlic. And I'm gonna let that do its thing. I'm gonna take it off the eye so my bottom isn't burning. And I'm gonna clean up. And period. I'm gonna check in on my cake. Oh, my cake look beautiful. I'm gonna put some garlic bread in the oven. It's gonna be ready to serve, period.